Hello, I'm Adriana and I want to tell you something that happened to me a few years ago in a place that seemed to be taken from a dream, but that became a living nightmare. It all started when I decided to visit a small village lost in the mountains. I had learned about a sculpture garden, a quirky place where local artists created masterpieces in stone and wood. From the moment I arrived, I felt a strange sensation of being observed, as if the sculptures themselves were following me with their gaze. The garden was surrounded by a dense and silent forest, where the trees seemed to whisper ancient secrets. The first time I entered, I was fascinated by the rustic beauty of the sculptures. Mysterious beings and unknown entities carved with sickly precision seemed to emerge from the ground. Some depicted twisted human figures in impossible poses, while others evoked mythological creatures lurking from the shadows. But as I explored further, I noticed that something wasn't right. The sculptures seemed to change places. A figure he had seen at first, carved from a single piece of obsidian, was now in the center of the garden, whereas before it was on the far edge. Other times, I would swear that some of the figures were looking directly at me, with eyes that seemed to move. The feeling of being watched intensified every time I returned. Sometimes, he would find footprints on the ground that did not belong to any visitor. They were large, deep footsteps, as if someone had walked barefoot through the garden at night. One afternoon, as I was looking at a particularly haunting sculpture of an eyeless face, I felt a sudden chill that made me turn around. I saw a shadow among the trees, a dark figure that disappeared as I approached. The air became dense, as if the garden itself was breathing with me. That night, I couldn't fall asleep. I felt a presence nearby, as if something was lurking right outside my cabin. Soft knocks on the door, muffled laughter coming from the darkness of the forest. No one was there when I peeked out, but the sounds continued for hours, until finally dawn broke the spell. Since then, I have never returned to the sculpture garden. The nights have become calmer, but I still feel something watching me in the dark, something that has no form but is there, lurking at the edges of my perception. Thank you for listening to my story. Remember that there are places where art and reality are intertwined in ways we cannot fully understand. And even if we try to escape our nightmares, some always find a way to follow us. Until next time, and may their dreams not trap them in their innermost demons. Goodbye. Hello, I'm Adriana and I want to tell you something that happened to me a few years ago in a place that seemed to be taken from a dream, but that became a living nightmare. It all started when I decided to visit a small village lost in the mountains. I had learned about a sculpture garden, a quirky place where local artists created